Hello, you're watching Hornbill TV's Northeast Express. Over 54% voters exercised their franchise in the first 4 hours of polling in the remaining part of the Outer Manipur Lok Sabha constituency, where polling is underway amid heavy security cover, officials said on Friday. According to the police and election officials, no untoward incident was reported from the constituency spread across 8 hilly districts: Ukhrul, Kamjong, Tamenglong, None, Senapati, Jiribam, Ferzwal and Tengnopal. Friday's polling is being held in the remaining 13 assembly segments under the Outer Manipur seat, where voting for the 15 other assembly segments was held in the first phase on April 19th, along with the Inner Manipur Lok Sabha seat. While the state's ruling BJP is contesting the Inner Manipur seat, it has extended its support to the Naga People's Front nominee, Kachui Timothy Zimik, who replaced sitting MP Loro S. Foze in the Outer Manipur seat. The Congress-led India bloc has fielded Alfred Kangam S. Arthur from Outer Manipur, though two independents, S. Kho John and Alison Abonmai, are also contesting the polls. The main contest is between Zimik and Arthur, both Nagas. And to get better report and better ground report, we've got our Manipur correspondent Mubashir Raji on the line, and we'll be having a Skype conversation to find out how the polling process went. Since it's 5 already, the voting process would have ended. How the polling process went and what was the voter turnout like, and whether there were untoward incidents like that on the April of 19th, where Manipur witnessed many incidents of vandalism and intimidation. Thank you so much, Mubashir, for joining us again on Hornbill TV. You've had another busy day. So how was the polling process? Was it peaceful, and was it like the April 19th? Officials have said no untoward incidents was reported, but what was the situation in the ground, and what about the voter turnout? Did people come out in large numbers to vote? What was the update like?
Well, Akibito, the voting pattern was by and large peaceful, I would say. But however, before I begin with, there is a report that just came in about EVM destruction in Ukhrul, like Punishpur, where EVM and CCTV camera were said to be destroyed. However, full details will be can only be known after RO submit the report.
Yes. And how was the voter turnout like?
Voter turnout in Outer Manipur is by and large, I would say, a good turnout. It's a good turnout because already 60% have already passed. Last time I checked with the election ECI, already 60% voter turnout has passed. So it is by and large a good voter turnout. Normally, voter turnout was not that much high in hilly district because of because they are sparsely populated, and about polling stations were far located. But this time around, by and large, we saw a very good voter turnout. Since early morning, people came out in large numbers. And except for few incidents, one or two odd incidents, the election is by and large very peaceful, and voter turnout is also very high. Yes, Akibito.
All right, Mubashir, when you spoke to the voters today while you were there at polling stations, what was the most common issue amongst the voters as to why they voted? Was it to end the ethnic conflict? Was it to bring peace, to bring development? Did the voters share their concerns with you?
Well, Akibito, the main biggest concern of the voters, or the main biggest issue in the Hill District is always the lack of infrastructure development. The development at ground level is very low in Hill District. The roads are, most of the roads are unmotorable. And when particularly during rainy season, the road conditions are very poor, and the infrastructure, lack of infrastructure development is the main issue, where people openly say that they are tired, almost tired of facing the same situation year after year, day after day. However, response of voters are very good, I must say. They come out, even old people, and even PWD people, that is the disabled people, all kind of voters came out and voted in large number, except for some one or two, some few cookie villages where in Senapati district, where they decided to refrain themselves from participating in voting process. Otherwise, in most of the Chile era areas and in most of the outer part of the Manipur, the voting percentage is very high, and it will be it can be said as a it can be said as by and large very peaceful. Yes, Akibita.
All right, Mubashir, on the April of 19th, voters of Manipur voted for their representatives in the inner Manipur and 15 segments of outer Manipur. Did you see a stark difference in the law and order situation? This is for the viewers of Hornbill TV as to understanding the ethnic divide and rather the intricacies of Manipur politics. So, do you feel that there was a vast difference between voting in the 19th of April and voting on the 26th of April, especially regarding safety of voters and the law and order situation? Did you find that there was a vast difference?
Well, Akivito, fortunately, I will say fortunately, this time around, voting is by and large peaceful. There was not much disturbance from the armed groups and militant groups. There are reports, one or two reports, details we are still waiting, but by and large, it's very peaceful. Yes, fortunately, this time around, the outer Manipur, proves to be even more peaceful than the inner Manipur one. Inner Manipur one, we saw a lot of, violence and all kind of, stuff. But in outer Manipur this time around, it's by and large peaceful. Yes, absolutely.
All right. Regarding the election complaints and the role of the chief election officer and the election department in Manipur, we had received a report that a Congress agent was harassed or intimidated from Jiribam constituency. So, has the election officer or rather the CEO given any statement regarding this particular incident, and was there any investigation done as to whether the allegations were true, and what action now will the authority take?
Well, what action the authority will take, it will be only known when they took the step. But as far as Jiribam Assembly constituency is concerned, we saw a very good voter turnout, and it's by and large very peaceful. Large number of people came out since early morning and they voted in huge number, I would say. Yes, Congress were some, INC had some concern yesterday also, but it turned out by and large peaceful as far as the voting process is concerned. But about the threat and those kind of stuff, it will be, not only after the, thorough investigation by the authority. Yes, Akipita.
All right. Now, if you look at the contestants in the Outer Manipur seat, you've got the NPF's Timothy Zimic, you've got the INC Arthur, and you've got two independents, and you had pointed out a very important fact that this time there were no cookie candidates. So what do you think, is this fight going to be a one-way fight, or do you think that there's going to be intense competition amongst the political parties, and also especially with S. Kho, who, if I believe is true, was from the NPF, but since he didn't get a ticket, he switched to independent. Do you think that that is going to create a break in the vote share between the two major parties, BJP and the Indian National Congress?
Well, you mentioned rightly, Kozone emerged as a good candidate, particularly in Senapati district.
Yes.
Other than, in Ukul, both Timothy Zimic and A.K. Arthur, they both are very, very strong contenders. So it is a very good, very well contested election, I would say. Nobody could fairly say that this particular candidate will win or this particular candidate will lose. So at the moment, it's a very good, very well contested election, and by and large, there was very little influence from the armed group also. There are some reports, however, but by and large, it was really peaceful. So I will say it is a very contest election, and particularly in Ukul, Senapati, and even in Kamjong area, this INC candidate performing well. In other areas, there are reports about this NPF candidate performing very well. So we cannot say that this particular candidate will have an upper hand at the moment. However, I will say it is by and large, very keenly contested. Yes, Akivito.
All right. Also regarding the voters from the displaced camps, what are the provisions or facilities that are provided for the displaced citizens or displaced voters of Manipur? You've got just recently in Kamjong, there had been special polling booths set up for displaced citizens. There could be some in Tengnopal too. There could be some in Tamenglong too. So what provisions have the authority given to the displaced facilities have the authorities given to the displaced citizens of Manipur who are staying in relief camps but have the right to exercise their vote. Did you see that in this special relief camps or special polling booths for the inmates of these relief camps, did you see a large voter turnout, or were people coming out, or weren't people coming out due to fear?
Well, Akikito, for this internally displaced people, the Election Commission of India set up this what they call special cluster polling station. In a sense that some say 2, 3, or 4 relief camps are combined and they set up special polling booths where this internally displaced people were allowed to vote. In the first phase, internally displaced people voted in large number. However, in the second phase, particularly in city-dominated area, the voter turnout was little low. However, they were allowed to vote peacefully, and they voted without any disturbance, without any problem. Yes, actually.
All right, thank you so much, Mubashir, for giving us the latest update. We will be patching up with you again to get further updates as to the voters' turnout. But we hope you stay safe, and we hope that peace will prevail soon in Manipur. Thank you so much, Mubashir. Well, that was a correspondent from Manipur, Mubashir Raje, who just joined us from Ukhrul, where the voting for the Outer Manipur constituency was held in 13 assembly segments. 15 was completed on the 19th of April and the remaining 13 today. The battle in Outer Manipur is between the BJP allied NPF, Mr. Timothy Zimik, contesting against INC candidate Alfred Kangamarthar and against independent John Ko and Abonmai. Well, our correspondent just said that it is going to be an intense battle and that up to now, no candidate or no political party can declare themselves as winners because the contest was widely fought. And also giving an update about the law and order situation, our correspondent Mubashir just told us that the polling process, especially in the Outer Manipur constituency, was by and large very peaceful, unlike the elections that took place on the 19th of April, where there were many instances of vandalism, violence, booth capturing, EV machine getting destroyed. Luckily, in this second phase of elections for the Outer Manipur constituency, there was no incidents of law and order situations breakdown, and also the voters, it seems, turned out in large numbers to give their votes, or rather exercise their franchisee to elect their representatives. And now in some breaking news, the Confederation of Nagaland Chamber of Commerce and Industry has decided to go with all Nagaland indefinite shutter down starting 27th April, as there was no positive response from the state government. The CNCCI has asked all its district units to cooperate and ensure shutter down in their respective districts. However, banking establishments, educational institutions, government offices and all medical related activities will be kept outside the purview of the shutter down. Moving on, a person who has been arrested on April 24th under the Arms Act by the Khanapara police reportedly committed suicide inside the male lockup of the police station. The deceased, Rudra Raba, who was the leader of a gang, was produced before a court on Thursday, after which he was awarded 5 days in police custody. During interrogation, he had admitted that he hid a country-made firearm in the jungle at Ranibari and led the police to the place for recovery of the arm. On Friday morning, he was found hanging from the bars of the lockup with a piece of cloth inside the lockup. In this regard, an executive magistrate has been deputed by the Office of the Deputy Commissioner, Riboy District, Nongpo, to conduct inquest in the presence of a medical officer under proper videography at the PO. A regular case has also been registered and investigation is under process. A goods train derailed between New Harangajao and Jatinga Lumpur railway station in Dima Hasao district of Assam on Thursday. The train was on its way from Badarpur to Lumding in Assam when the mishap occurred, disrupting all railway services between this route till the time of filing this report. Ahead of the second phase election, Manipur Congress on Thursday had expressed apprehension that the unwanted activities that happened during the first phase may repeat this time as well. Former Congress Minister Ratan Kumar, while speaking at Congress Bhavan, said during the first phase, many INC polling agents were not allowed inside the polling stations by miscreants. While making an appeal to the ECI through Chief Electoral Officer, Ratan Kumar said adequate measures should be taken up to ensure free and fair elections in the second phase. Ratan Kumar said Congress delegation, which include MLAs and office bearers of MPCC, which had been sent to Jirbam Assembly constituency, reported that polling agents and workers were receiving threats and intimidation. Ratan Kumar said Congress have already submitted written complaint to the Chief Electoral Officer regarding this and is expecting for necessary actions.
We have a delegation, a strong delegation, including honorable MLAs of Manipur Assembly constituency and office bearers of MPCC in the Jirbam, Assembly constituency segment as a part of the Outer Manipur parliamentary constituency second phase that will be held tomorrow. So we received reports from that many of the Congress workers and the India Alliance workers, and so our election agent John Panmai of INC candidate Alfred K. Arthur submitted an application to the Chief Electoral Officer, who is seated at Lampel office, and election agent has given the reasons, that there are apprehensions that disturbances might be repeated as it had happened in the first phase of the Inner Manipur parliamentary constituency, whereby we had witnessed many undesirable and undemocratic acts of violence during the poll day on the 19th of April. So we are appealing to the Chief Electoral Officer to take up necessary preventive measures so as not to repeat those acts of violence. Any kinds of disturbances should not be allowed to happen, because India is reputed to be the largest democratic country in the world, and we should uphold the democratic principles and the values. And therefore, we are especially appealing to the Election Commission of India through the Chief Electoral Officer Manipur to take up preventive measures so that no unwanted and undesirable acts of violence repeated again in the second phase of the Outer Manipur parliamentary, especially in the Jirbam constituency.
775 voters of Barbauri LP School in Sadhin Bazar of Sonai Assembly constituency under Kachar district of Assam have boycotted the electoral process and refused to cast their votes as their polling centre has been changed. A micro observer speaking to the media informed that close to 10 a.m. in the morning, no voter turned up.
পোল আছেন, সেকেন্ড পোল আছেন, থার্ড পোল আছেন, যথোপযুক্ত ব্যবস্থা আছে, আমাদের প্রচুর রক্ষী আছেন, মাইক্রো অবজারভারও আছেন, কিন্তু এখনো এখন 9:55 বাজে, এখন অবধি একটি ভোটও কাস্ট হয়।
The second phase of general elections to the 18th Lok Sabha for Outer Manipur began from 7 a.m. today and continued till 4 p.m. 13 assembly segments of 2 Outer Manipur ST parliamentary constituencies spread across 8 districts: Ukhrul, Kamjong, Tamenglong, None, Senapati, Jirbam, Ferzwal and Tengnopal are going for polls. A total of 4,84,949 voters, including 2,39,140 male, 2,45,807 female and 2 transgender voters are exercising their franchise in phase 2. There are a total of 848 polling stations, including 36 numbers of P3 polling stations, 279 numbers of P2 polling stations and 533 numbers of P1 polling stations. It is worth mentioning that 202 polling stations will be completely managed by all women polling personnel. It's also notable that one polling station will be exclusively managed by all PWD polling personnel. Besides, there will be decorated 22 model polling stations. In addition, 9 special polling stations have been set up for internally displaced voters, 4 in Nukrul, 4 in Tengnopal and 1 in Jiribam districts. A total of 529 internally displaced voters will exercise their franchise in their respective special polling stations. Interestingly, a special polling station has been set up for only one voter in Tengnopal district. Over 3,400 polling personnel are being deployed for phase 2. As Assam goes for the second phase of Lok Sabha polls today, a fierce battle in 5 seats, namely Udalguri, Darang, Nagaon, Diphu, Karimganj and Silchar is being witnessed. In Silchar, the lone SC reserve seat in Assam, with the weather forecast predicting rain throughout the day, the heavyweight candidates were seen voting early in the morning, while BJP candidate Parimal Suklabaidya exercised his franchise at Irong Mara Primary School. Suryakanta Sarkar, the Indian National Congress candidate, cast his vote at Silchar's Guru Charan College. Both the leaders exuded confidence of winning the heart of the voters. Silchar Lok Sabha seat has 13.69 lakh voters, and these voters would exercise their franchise spread across 1,551 polling stations. And that was all for this hour's bulletin. For more news and updates, stay tuned to Hornbill TV. Goodbye.